This is Cincinnati People.
A peek into the creative and curious side of Cincinnati.
From food to fun, entertainment, and so much more.
You'll find it right here.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another fantastic episode of Cincinnati People. We're giving you that look inside food, fun, arts, culture, entertainment, you name it. And if you haven't guessed by now, there's a golf course behind me. It is Kentwood Country Club getting ready for the LPGA, the Queen City Championship, coming in just a few weeks. And we've really focused a lot of this show on some behind the scenes prep, a sneak peek into that. We just had LPGA Media Day earlier this week, had so much fun. And we also got a look at that beautiful trophy. More than 100 of the most talented women golfers from all around the world are going to head right here to Kentwood Country Club for that tournament, and one of them is going to be able to hold and say they won that fantastic trophy. So take a look at some of the stuff we gathered for you over the past few weeks, I should say, heading up to this big tournament.
It was about almost exactly 1 year ago when we were in this room and we announced the return of the LPGA to the greater Cincinnati area after 30 years. And now here we are, just 2 weeks away. We could not be more excited about everything that's going to go on between now and through the tournament.
It's so exciting. Anytime I get to play in my home state in front of a home crowd, it is just such a great experience. I played in the Cincinnati area a couple years ago for the Epson Tour, and that was the best experience. I had so many people come out and support, and just Ohio people that just love sports and love golf, and we have such a short window compared to like the southern states to play, and the fact that the LPGA is coming to Ohio and coming to Cincinnati is just amazing, and I'm really excited to tee it up here in a couple weeks with a bunch of my friends.
As we mentioned, it's been 30 years since the LPGA has been here in our area, and Pat, you mentioned this has been 2 years in the making to put this together. Both of your companies are very invested in this tournament. Why now? Why do you think it is so important now for both Kroger and P&G to be involved in this tournament?
It really has been several years in the making. Kroger and P&G and several other leaders in the Cincinnati business community made a commitment to accelerate the advancement of women in sports and in business. And so we created the Game Changers platform as a way to do that. So the tournament itself is a key pillar of that platform. Cincinnati is already a really vibrant sports and food and business community. And so we're really excited to be able to welcome world-class athletes here to share in that Cincinnati culture and stories and people. The tournament was also really a catalyst for what became this larger platform. And we developed what is now called the Game Changers Women's Leadership Program that will kick off at the tournament in September. And with that, we will support 130 diverse women as we look to accelerate their advancement in executive leadership and entrepreneurship. So really excited for that opportunity for those women. And then we also are launching our Game Changers Scholarship Program, which is presented by the Kroger Foundation and the Always brand. And this will be awarded to women achieving degrees in business and liberal arts, but really at the beginning of their leadership journey.
Well, we look at this tournament as a catalyst to all the wonderful things we can do in this city, specifically for bringing something to the city to help our revenue, to help just really promote Cincinnati as a great place to live and a great business community. Separately, we want to make sure that we're advancing women in sport and women in business, and creating the Game Changers platform, having this women's leadership program, having it be sort of a sample of entrepreneurs, business people from all over the city, helping these women explode their careers and really empower and elevate them. That makes it really special to us. The scholarship program that our two companies, Kroger and Procter & Gamble, are going to be starting really puts our money where our mouth is to make sure that the young women of tomorrow have opportunities to be so successful. That with the tournament, it's much more than a golf tournament. but we're thankful and grateful that we get the opportunity to have the golf tournament here so that we can do all this stuff.
First of all, I mean, I like to support big companies like Kroger and P&G. I think they're one of the leaders when it comes to marketing and the way that they reach out to customers and consumers. And then to be able to come to a town like Cincinnati where people love sports. The women, you know, the golf women have not been here for over 30 years. I know they're going to be received very, very well. And I love the concept of putting business and sports together and just encouraging women to do well, which is kind of, you know, I started my golf career and now I'm jumping into the business side of things to be able to combine that. I think it's very fascinating and something that inspires me every day. So I'm going to be part of some of the panels and the junior clinics and things that I really do on a daily basis.
Definitely growing up in Ohio poses its challenges, and I actually remember talking to Annika like 10 years ago at her event and asking her, I was so nervous, I went up to her and I asked her, coming from a cold climate, how did you decide on golf and how did you pursue that? Because their winters are very harsh as well. And she talked to me for like a half hour. She couldn't have been nicer and just gave me a bunch of tips, gave me all of the support, and it made me feel so special. And so when I turned professional, I said, I want that to be my goal. I want to be this role model for young kids who grow up in either adverse climates or adverse conditions, whatever that may be, that if you work really hard and you can pursue your dreams and you can do something like this. And just having her as my mentor at the time and my inspiration, I just was like, I want to be that for whoever needs it when I turn pro.
The golf tournament is amazing, but this is much more than a golf tournament. You're going to see us make such a difference with women in sport and women in business, and Cincinnati's going to stick out. This is going to be a world-class event for years to come, and we're going to get the best players, and we're also going to just advance the women leaders in Cincinnati.
We're getting close. September 5th is not that far away, and we're very much looking forward to hosting the event. So Kentwood was founded in 1930, and it has hosted the 1933 U.S. Amateur, the 1954 Western Open on the PGA Tour, as well as the 1963 U.S. Women's Open. So we're really excited to get back in the mix and start hosting professional events again, and we couldn't be more excited. So one of the things we pride ourselves on, and Nate Herman, our Director of Agronomy, does an outstanding job with his staff, really having a golf course that is of championship look and feel, really day in and day out. So not dissimilar to any of the world-class facilities around the country or around the globe, we feel like we can host a major championship or a professional tour event like the one we have coming really any time during our season. And here in this part of the country, our season really runs from April through October. And they do various agronomic activities that help prepare the golf course to see it just as you do today. And then behind the scenes, we work closely with the Director of Operations and all the staff, the agronomy team, the tournament and rules department that the LPGA has from their headquarters down in Daytona Beach, Florida, to really make sure that we're both on the same page and prepare the golf course as we get closer to the event to what they want to see. And in fact, sometimes that's maybe even slowing our greens down a little bit or doing some things that may be a little bit different than what our membership is used to seeing. But it's really about a partnership and working together to prepare the golf course step in step with how they want it set up for that week. You know, Kentwood is certainly one of the premier clubs throughout the Midwest. It is a large-scale, multi-course facility. We have everything that you could ever want in a large-scale club. Everything from our fitness and aquatics department to our rackets division, all the way to the golf itself. It's got wonderful dining. We have one of the largest junior programs in the country. And currently right now, we have a multi-year wait list to become a golf member. It is a very appealing club for a number of reasons. And as you can see, it's a beautiful place. It's got a great location. And we really pride ourselves, as I mentioned earlier, on really delivering a consistent world-class experience for our members day in and day out. So it really doesn't get a whole lot better than Kentwood. It's been a number of years since we've hosted any kind of major professional event in the golf world here. So Cincinnati's a great sports town. We have a wonderful theater here that is Kentwood. So it is going to be a terrific week. It is prime time of year. We are going to attract the greatest players in the world that play on the women's tours, and it's going to be a spectacular week, and we just can't wait for it. And I invite everybody to come on out and enjoy themselves.
And you know we won't leave you hanging. We've got you covered pretty much across the board for this show. Some summer fun. If you missed out on this episode of our Cincinnati Fear, where we went to Velocity Esports in Newport, you gotta check out this segment. We had so much fun. Think like arcade games from anywhere from Pac-Man to air hockey to professional esports. You can watch them as they stream tournaments. You can also take part and play. Your buddies log right into their computers and have a ton of fun. Watch as Tim and I played Super Smash Brothers. If you like seeing people be just like bad at things, you're gonna love this, because that was my first time playing Super Smash. So take a look at that, and then we'll be back in just a few with some more summer fun. I gotta say, I have never played before, and I played my very first Super Smash Bros.
Really?
I think
How'd you do?
What happened? Princess Peach has got some.
You got some moves.
Wow! Look at that! Look at that kick! Look at that kick! Get over here! Get over here! This is fun. Well, Tim was here earlier, our director of esports, and he said I did about 6 out of 10 on a scale of 1 to 10.
It's better than 5, so you know you got to go up from there. That's awesome.
We love it. So you guys recently opened, like April, right?
Yep. So the end of March is when we officially opened. Kind of did a soft opening prior to letting the public know that we are back and entrenched in the market. So we officially opened April 14th, 2022.
How has it been so far? I mean, this is a Tuesday afternoon, and we've seen a good amount of people in here.
Yeah. So it's actually been really good. You know, we're doing live music on Saturday nights. It really has a pretty good draw. We have an esports lounge that has people continually playing in it, and then all the games that people come down for. The one big difference that from years past is our menu has really taken an upgrade. It's gastro pub food. You know, it's not just your typical bar food, and a lot of people really enjoy that part too.
Bam, bam, bam. Your boss, Tom, mentioned that you are the person to come to when it has to do with esports. You've got a wonderful team here too that really knows the ins and outs. What does your day-to-day look like when you've got guests come in to play in that esports lounge?
So typically we want to start off by having the best equipment we can to be able to bring those guests in. One of the things that we set off with in the beginning is if somebody's got the exact same equipment, or if they've got maybe less par equipment, how do we get them to come in and actually pay to play the same game that they may have at home? So we've got to be able to provide that experience for them. We've got to be able to give them great service. We've got to be able to have craft cocktails if they want, mocktails if they're underage, to be able to have something that makes them want to come out and have that social engagement, to be able to actually engage with others that have that like-minded interest. So it's definitely a really nice thing to do, and my job day-to-day kind of comes down to, in general, making sure everybody's got exactly what they need. We kind of set up tournaments online, things that we might do in-store, and making sure obviously all the games are up and running as well. So it's definitely a bunch of a juggling act, to say the least, but it's something that the whole team does.
Love that. Talk a little bit about yourself. So you've got to know the ins and outs of esports and gaming, of course, and you are one of the perfect people to do so. Talk a little bit about your history and your background.
So I started playing competitive Halo in 2008, back in Halo 3, and I was actually got to the point where we were picked up in a sponsored team, so we were professional for about 4.5 years. And then I played competitive Halo, took a break, went to school, did the whole psychology thing, and then took a break and said, I kind of want to play competitive Halo because that's making a little bit more money right now. So I've been an esports player for at least 9 years. Hearing about this opportunity that we're going to possibly have a lounge where people can kind of come and just enjoy themselves and relax and have a good time, maybe play a game they've never played before, or maybe play a game, like I said before, that they've got at home. It's definitely one of those things that I wanted to be a part of, and I wanted to at least show somebody the experience that we might have somebody in here that knows how to play better than you, or you might be able to teach somebody. There's nothing better than that camaraderie of showing somebody that you're better or that you want to be better than somebody. And that's kind of that competitiveness in esports in and of itself. You can be casual or you can be competitive, and we offer both here, and we'll welcome both. But as far as for me, I usually like to just kind of always have a hand in something as far as the game floor in the esports area, and the esports I really take a liking to because there's so much potential. And gaming in general, in the last 10 years, gaming, the revenue itself, has gotten over $180 billion, and that's more than movies and music combined. So there's so much untapped potential, and it's obviously going to continue to keep growing. You guys are a great organization that come out and bring great level players, and you guys coming out to us makes us feel really appreciated. So we definitely appreciate the ability to work with you guys in the future.
just come check us out. You know, we're a place where you're going to have fun. You're going to come and you're going to have a great experience, whether it's just for drinks and food or playing games or esports. Kind of have different options for everyone. The other thing that we just started booking were large events. So we can house events of upwards of 600 in here.
Wow.
So whether it's a corporate outing or, you know, a small birthday, whatever it is, we can do anything.
Oh, I didn't see it! Good win.
Mochiko is a glutinous rice flour that we use often, and it's also named after our dog Mochi. We have pastries and coffee and tea in the morning, and then we break for a little bit, and then at nighttime it turns into like a kind of like dimly lit cafe with Japanese comfort food.
We started as a pop-up originally, so pop-ups are always very community motivated because there's not a whole lot of money in pop-ups. The whole point of doing them is kind of to grow this audience and get people to know who you are. We had regulars and people that were excited about us doing it, and eventually that kind of gave us credibility to talk with landlords. There were a lot of people that were interested in like helping us out and such, but in the end it was kind of like just us making it happen, you know? And if we were going to these landlords and people hadn't been talking about us, they'd probably give us a lot more pushback, you know? But they were excited about it. Our realtor was like, yeah, I know them. We've been to their pop-ups. People are excited about them. I think you should really put them in this spot. And so he was just like, yeah. So if there wasn't that spoken word of this small town and people talking, we would never be able to be where we are. I mean, we just didn't have the means to do it. With the menu, it stays, most of the items stay the same because there's a lot of hits that are just easy sells that people love. Fried chicken, they love our broccoli salad and things like that. But the ramen changes up frequently. If you've had ramen the week before, there's most likely a different ramen that you can get the next week. And we try to do as much seasonal stuff as we can because Japanese food's like all about seasons. They have, their produce in Japan is just absurdly good. So it's always changing depending on the season. Unfortunately, like, we're not able to do that because produce is so expensive, and we just do the best we can. So the showyu's kind of almost always on the menu. It's our one that we're the most passionate about. It's the most different than what you would get at your standard ramen spot in Cincinnati. I kind of feel that all of our stuff's different, but the showyu's kind of our heart and soul that even if people don't like it, I want them to try it sort of thing, you know? That's a big thing about our ramen is that we don't necessarily give people what they want here. We like to kind of make them a little uncomfortable and try things like they are in Japan.
And a lot of my inspiration for like the pastries in the morning is just utilizing ingredients that I grew up with and kind of making them make sense within like my realm of knowledge. You know, I trained a lot with like European chefs, and it just makes sense to me to like translate that and like combine those two things, and then hopefully it makes sense on the palate and to everyone else.
All right, Mochiko was so great. If you were looking for pastries, coffee, all that good stuff, head there in the mornings. If you go on the weekends, get there early. The three of us girls went, and no sooner did we get there, they had a line almost out the door. You can also head there in the evenings. They dim the lights. They make some homemade ramen, and every week they have a different ramen dish. It is delicious, according to my photographer, Shay. I have yet to go, but I know I'm gonna head there soon. So make sure you check that out as well. We've got all this information, as always, on our socials and our website, and we will see you guys again in 2 weeks right here at Kentwood Country Club for a full jam-packed show of LPGA content as well as women in sports.